everyone, this is Charity. I am presenting my project plan, which is transitioning to Epic Electronic Health Record. Most of us work in a 12-hour shift, and within that time period, a lot of it is dedicated to documentation. In our line of work, we want an efficient workflow and documentation process. In our hospital, our current electronic health record system is dated. Therefore, the hospital decided to bring in Epic, in which about 325 million people, physicians, and healthcare professionals use it. In transitioning to Epic Electronic Healthcare Record, we will be focusing on three different parts: pre-go live, go live, and post-go live. Proper planning and execution is needed to have a successful launch. In pre-go live, there are 5 main focus to support the transition. Training and support and launching the electronic health record system is under the go live part. The stressors, feedback, and survey are under the post-go live system. Let us focus on the pre-go live system. Upper management and leadership have mobilized multidisciplinary team to prepare and launch the EHR. It will be implemented via Big Bang approach, wherein it will be a hospital-wide application. However, for this project, I am focusing on the respiratory therapy department. There will be challenges before, during, and after the launch. It is important that strategy is in place to keep the problems to a minimum. The goals for this project ranges from introducing the system, recruiting the therapist, to charting proficiently with Epic Electronic Health Record. Resources, assessment, or evaluation are available to provide solutions to those who use the system. One of the challenges of this project plan is the timeline. At this time, we are only on the pre-go live, wherein the advertisement and recruitment of RT super users are in place. It is the hope that we stick by the timeline. This is the illustration of how the project will look like in the next few months. As you can see, this will take more than a year in completing, and with the hopes of a successful launch. This is a hospital-wide system change. Everything will trickle in from the CEO. But again, for this project, I am focusing on the Epic super users and IT hotline for the respiratory department. This is a vague representation of the budget for the project plan. It is divided between the hospital and the RT department. The biggest takeaway from this illustration is that it is a very expensive transition. Nevertheless, our department is grateful to have a dedicated IT to help us for the next 6 months during the transition, as well as having 5 traveling RTs to help us during this transition to a new electronic health record system. It is inevitable to recruit Epic super users for this project plan. They will be the go-to resources for their colleagues, helping with troubleshooting, answering questions, and offering support as everyone adjusts to the new system. Currently, the IT department is very busy in upgrading all our equipment as well as the software in the hospital. Secondly, the education committee is busy putting together the schedule for the classes for the incoming launch. The second phase, go live, will include training and support for the new system. The classes are offered in the classroom, online, or both. It is the hope that 100% of all of the respiratory therapists have taken these classes before the launch in December. The launch is projected in December 2026. And as I've mentioned, at this time, 100% of the respiratory therapists are expected to finish the modules and any other necessary training to have the launch a successful one. The third phase, post go live, as much as we would like to have a smooth transition, problems arise. Therefore, a dedicated IT hotline is available for the next 6 months for the respiratory therapy department, after which the hospital's general IT department will take over. They are dedicated to help respiratory therapists in mitigating worksheet problems. Additionally, super users are available to assist their peers. Feedback forms and surveys are also available to help us identify problems and later on help mitigate any problems with the worksheets so that we can have a smoother workflow. These are the anticipated problems for the project plan. For example, not all respiratory therapists are ready for the conversion. Therefore, sending an email, posting a schedule for open laboratory classes, and reminding staff that training is mandatory and is a requirement for employment are in place. The second identified problem is the documentation compliance. The required actions will include an email being sent out regarding effective documentation, and secondly, would be identifying parameters that are often missed and bring it to the attention of the staff members and provide solutions. And the third identified problem will be staff members are not engaged with the conversion. Therefore, there will be another reminder that this is a hospital-wide transition and is part of their job requirement, as well as finding and identifying the root cause of disengagement. For example, lack of computer skills. Therefore, we would encourage them or ask them to take classes regarding computer classes. Another one would be a higher patient therapy acuity, which would signal us to bring in more traveling RTs so that it can help in mitigating the workplace stressor. This is the illustration of the action plan in Gantt chart. These are the considerations in checking on how the project plan is doing. The key performance indicators include the ones in the pre-go live phase, wherein the recruitment of RT super users, the training of RT super users, and training of all respiratory therapists are on time completion based on the timeline that is set. KPIs are also considered for the go live phase, wherein a launch completion is anticipated. The third phase, which is the post-go live, the KPIs include documentation and compliance audit, the survey and feedback, where employee satisfaction and engagement rating is or will be observed, and a development backlog, wherein the number of unresolved issues or tasks will be monitored and hopefully rectified along the way. Here is the reference list for the presentation. Thank you for watching my presentation.